Pemimpin tertinggi Iran Mojtaba Khamenei akhirnya buka suara terkait kesepakatan damai antara negaranya dengan Amerika Serikat. Dalam pernyataan yang dibacakan televisi pemerintah pada Kamis, ia mengaku awalnya keberatan dengan hal tersebut. Khamenei baru bisa menerima setelah mendapat jaminan dari Presiden Iran Masoud Pezeshkian dan anggota Dewan Keamanan Nasional tertinggi. Jaminan tersebut merujuk pada perlindungan hak-hak bangsa Iran dan front perlawanan. Khamenei berpendapat bahwa Amerika Serikat pada akhirnya ingin damai karena putus asa. Pasalnya, Washington menggunakan segala macam pengaruh untuk mewujudkan hal ini. Khamenei lantas mengatakan bahwa Iran akan menunggu untuk melihat dampak kesepakatan tersebut. Namun ia tegas bahwa negosiasi tatap muka tidak berarti penerimaan terhadap posisi Amerika Serikat. Sebelumnya, dokumen kesepakatan damai telah ditandatangani oleh Trump dan Pezeshkian pada Rabu 17 Juni 2026. Dokumen tersebut berisi 14 poin yang mencakup pembukaan Selat Hormuz, penghentian perang di seluruh lini, hingga pencabutan blokade.
ملت پرشور و با وفای ایران همان گونه که مطلع شدید تفاهمنامه‌ای بین رئیس جمهوران ایران و آمریکا امضا شد. در مسیر رسیدن به این مرحله مسئولین امر از سر دلسوزی و با حسن نظر تلاش‌های زیادی را به عمل آوردند و البته این رئیس جمهور آمریکا بود که از روی استیصال از انواع اهرم‌ها برای این امر استفاده می‌کرد. بنده علالأصول نظر دیگری داشتم، ولی از باب تعهدی که رئیس جمهور محترم به عنوان رئیس شورای عالی امنیت ملی از طرف خود و سایر اعضا در پاسداشت حقوق ملت ایران و جبهه مقاومت به بنده دادند و تصریح به قبول مسئولیت آن نمودند، اجازه آن را صادر نمودم. ایشان همچنین تصریح کردند که اگر طرف آمریکایی بخواهد زیاده خواهی کند، زیر بار آن نخواهند رفت. از این لحظه ما، یعنی شما ملت سرافراز و این خادم ناچیز، منتظر تحقق شروط گفته شده خواهیم بود. اما بدیهی است مذاکرات حضوری که در آینده برقرار خواهد شد به معنای پذیرش نظر دشمن نخواهد بود. امیدواریم که دعای خیر سرورمان عجل الله تعالی فرجه الشریف انواع نصرت‌ها و فتوحات برای ملت شریف ایران به ارمغان آورد. و السلام علیکم و رحمت الله و برکاته. سید مجتبی حسینی خامنه‌ای 28 خرداد 1405.
This agreement came after months of bombing and a blockade that was impenetrable. Iran was put in a position where they had to come to the table and undertake this. And what President Trump has been clear about from the beginning, and the War Department is clear about, is Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. Full stop, cannot have a nuclear weapon. Everybody knows it. And so our military actions and any negotiations will be centered on that. And the President has pointed out that we will be prepared to recommence. If underneath the timeline of these talks, Iran does not do what it says it's going to do, which is give up nuclear weapons, give up nuclear ambitions, give away their nuclear material, close nuclear facilities, then the War Department is here and prepared to restart if we need to. We prefer not to, but we are prepared and postured to. When it comes to our alignment or posture in the region, we'll review what capabilities we need. You know, when the blockade opens fully, we'll step back and allow commerce to flow. But if Iran doesn't comply, then we're more than able to reimpose an ironclad blockade. We've had basing in that region for a long time. A lot of that will stay just as it is, and we'll look at how many troops we need in the area and calibrate accordingly. But we're going to be the big stick behind the negotiations that never existed under President Obama. It just didn't. It was a paper tiger hoping that they agree.
Going to be funding that $300 billion fund. Who exactly is funding that? Is it private companies? And I also noticed that your voice is hoarse. Are you sick? Have you been using your voice a lot?
Well, I've been on a bit of a book tour the past couple of days, but I can't promote my book here in the White House press briefing room. I had a cold about a week ago. That and talking a lot about this deal and talking a lot about the book, I'm definitely a little bit hoarse. But you asked, your first question was about...
Who exactly is funding that $300 billion.
Oh, I see. So what's interesting about this is there is a great desire from the Arab world and from outside the Arab world to actually get involved in Iran if they behave properly. So, for example, let's say the United Arab Emirates, who've been a great ally over the last, not just few months, but over the last many years, let's say that they would like to invest in building a power plant. That actually is impossible right now because of the way that U.S. sanctions work. And so what we're saying is that if you behave, and if the Emiratis themselves want to build a power plant, then we will do the sanctions relief necessary to make that possible. The good thing about that is that it actually creates integration, which is leverage. A world where the Gulf Coast Coalition has greater leverage into the Iranian economy is a world where the Iranians are going to be heavily prevented from misbehaving. So it's a lot of the Gulf Coast Coalition, again, they see that Iran is weakened, they see there's an opportunity to build a new relationship there, and they're saying if they behave, and if the United States is willing to allow this to happen, then absolutely we want to change our relationship with Iran. No, well, I mean, I assume that in the United Arab Emirates there would be private money and so forth that would be part of this. But again, this is so far in advance because it assumes a transformation in Iranian behavior.